I'm that girl who very closely did another session with you in her pajamas. It's still very early here once again on this Sunday, and I thought potentially I was going to have the day off. A rarity, isn't it? Very selfish of me to have a day off. Um, but it's interesting because they prompted me to talk to you about something that they haven't really formalized, explained to me. So in its entirety, right? So I woke up and it was very busy chatter. And a few things that I could remember as I'm trying to speak to you now and think about it was they were reminding me that on this journey in life that we're all in, while they want us ideally to get to be in unison and harmony and love each other and all that fantastic stuff, we're so out of balance, so out of line that we're actually creating a new balance. I don't think I've explained that very well. So you can have a wheel racing around and spinning around really fast, and that can just still continually be in balance and it's perfectly straight, right? So almost like as if you're like spinning a plate or a wheel on my finger, and it's balanced and it's completely fine. There is no wobbles, and it's just spinning around and around and around, and it's completely, it's on path, and it's got that profound unity. You can also have a really wiggly balance of center, and it's like spinning plates, right? You can sort of I don't know where they're coming from, so regardless, you're not spinning out of control, you're not breaking, right? And so it seems like the collectives are watching us somewhat be off our balance where we're supposed to be, which is in beautiful harmony, love, peace around the world, no deception. Imagine that, right? That would be a crazy, incredible, fantastic day. No deception anywhere. Could you imagine that? Wouldn't that just be paradise to have no deception? True, honest integrity, true, honest disclosures. Imagine buying something and instead of seeing the ingredients as being 254 and 607, imagine if you actually understood that those were some derived chemicals that could probably make you sterile and something else, right? Imagine if we had true honesty with our news where they were saying, and this information was written and paid for by a corporation or industry or something, or, and we've just given you that great big breaking news story because we're trying to distract you from something else. So don't look over there. Look at what we've just told you. Look at this problem. Oh my gosh, gossip and drama and whatever, right? Imagine if everyone started talking to each other and having those honest communications. That would be fantastic, right? If people actually got to the point of why they're trying to reach out to you and why they're trying to connect in with you. What if all of those prickly cactuses came up to us and said, I'm so sick of hurting you because ultimately it's hurting me because I don't know how to stop hurting in general. Wouldn't that be just a delicious cup of tea conversation to have? Oh, I can see where you're coming from, my friend. We can all say, let's figure out where those sticking points were for you. Tell me about your childhood. Tell me about how you felt. When was the last time you felt loved, true love? When was the last time you felt safe, truly safe? When was the last time you felt secured and listened to and honored? We could have fantastic conversations with those prickly cactuses, couldn't we? Like, bring that on. Once they're starting to actually be responsible and admit their behaviors and actually realize they're not doing so well and it's not making them feel good, and actually they're not having that many people around them because they're just so hurtful and spiteful and all that sort of stuff, right? It's so fascinating. So as they were telling me in this dream and they're reminding me is that we can be sort of so out of sync so much that we can create our new in sync pace, right? So strange. Let's hope that they get somewhere with this. So if you have not noticed, there is profound energy being experienced on this planet, right? And the Schumann resonance is measuring what's happening on this planet. Now, one could say that we are so uplifted and so empowered by loving ourselves and loving others, and we've got a true, beautiful joy in our hearts and in our steps, and we are just loving, compassionate people, that we're raising all our frequency vibrations up that way. And that could be read and monitored, and you could see that on the Schumann resonance. Or you could believe that there is just all that energy coming onto the planet suddenly. It's as if suddenly the collectives have remembered us and like, oh, that's right. We should be like empowering them and charging them up with lots of energy. Which do you think could it be? Do you think it could be that humanity has got so much hope right now, so much positivity, so much true focus and connecting into each other in whatever pace or balance that may be? It seems like when we ask the collectives, they say we're always sending love to you. We're always sending that high frequency. But it's not until you actually accept it and hold on to it and allow it to go and to be held on to you, because energy just comes through you, right? So it's like, think of the radio, it's not until you turn that the radio device on, like if it was a little battery held radio, the radio airwaves all around us, right? But we actually need to have a little unit and we turn it on to be able to translate that energy of those radio waves. We can't connect in to be able to hear all the radio frequencies with our physical vehicles, but we can use the device of the radios to be able to find those messages and translate that into an audio, music and DJs and blah, 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 blah. Right. So if our collectives are constantly sending us this amazing energy, but we haven't really bothered to turn on the radio, turn on our hearts, turn on our moral compasses, turn on our connection to others, all of this sort of stuff, this energy doesn't get registered because there's nothing connecting in to acknowledge it. And so from my sort of perspective, what I've asked in sessions about the Schumann resonance, it seems like once we as beings hold on to this frequency, that they're shining on us, trying to charge us, to give us this energy, it's incredible. And I know lots of people say, oh, this is because of a solar flare or something, something, something. When you understand what the sun is, and you understand how energy works, you'd understand that it is our choices to hold frequency and be uplifted and not hold on to it and not play into the density of things. Hang on. Hello, Grayson. Okay, fantastic that our 3-year-old can get into this room by opening the door now. Fun times. It is his office, so yeah, he's pretty unimpressed. So anyway, asking sessions about this energy and what it reads and how it reads, because if our collectives have constantly been putting this energy to uplift us and empower us, and it's always there, this energy is always there, but it's when we choose to accept it and to hold on to it, will we be able to connect in with that. Right. So we choose to be the receivers of that or not. And so it seems very interesting that a lot of people have been choosing to hold on to this frequency and be able to be ready to support this energy. Big difference, right? It's pretty exciting. So lots of people don't quite know how energy does work. And so if you're sort of wanting to empower people You could say there is this big solar flare that's going to empower you all. Brace yourself for a few days. You're going to have this big upliftment. You're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel wonderful, right? And if you haven't thought about feeling wonderful or good for those few days, but someone's told you you're going to feel good for 2 days, you're going to feel amazing, blissed out, relaxed out, whatever, you're going to either accept it or deny it. And so when you're anticipating big energies and when you're anticipating feeling good, you're going to get excited about it. It is like when lots of people are really exhausted in a moment, right? And so they will do their 9-to-5 jobs Monday to Friday, and they're just doing their duties and they're just coming in to be of service for their paid jobs. And literally Friday afternoon, they're suddenly going to feel like they're coming down with the biggest flu they've ever had in their lives, because they've already set the intentions. I'm going to just have a very relaxed weekend. I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to sleep in. I'm not going to do any housework, blah, 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 blah. I'm just having a me weekend, right? And that's fantastic. But when you're holding on to focusing Monday to Friday and you don't sort of have any balance, you have a little bit of disbalance, you will literally succumb to all of the other things you're doing. You would, if we want to talk about dishwashers and being that sponge, Monday to Friday, you've absorbed all of the energy from your co-workers, everyone who you have experienced in your travels and journeys to get into work. You're connecting them with so many people to be their sponges. And then, in the weekends, you get to hibernate and not do much. You're going to really start wanting to wring out and wash that sponge that you are. And you will start doing it basically Friday, and it just is quite intensive, where people are like, oh my god, I work so hard during the weeks and I've got nothing left in my emotional energy tank for the weekends. And it can be really confusing for people, because they're like, I just want to seize the day, I'm supposed to do stuff for humanity, blah 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 blah. And then that's when we find out in sessions, you're doing amazing stuff Monday to Friday. Take some time down. Right. So it's very interesting. So our teams know how humanity has mindsets and what we do with our free will. And so it's very interesting how they will support certain things to be able to inspire us to have positivity and to have trust and to have faith in certain things and try to reconnect in with ourselves. It's quite incredible. And God, there's so much else I want to say, but I did this. They fully prompted me to do this healing energy using the white pyramid of light for all and anyone who wants to listen to it, because they would just love you to spend. I thought it was a few minutes. I did not realize it was 15 minutes long, that healing meditation. And so, sorry, but I would love for you all to really get into a comfortable position and be able to listen to that and really just allow yourself to flow with it. And I think there could be a really positive thing for people to listen to that many times. But also, I want to say this to you. You're very powerful in your own right. And however you want to send healing, however you want to raise your vibrations, however it works for you, however you feel is the best way, you do you. And for some people, they don't want to sort of have to think about how to do it, and because they're worried about if they're doing it right or something, right? So sometimes having a small template like that healing, that white light healing, can be a good kind of guide. But, once again, you're very powerful in your own right. And so however you can set the energy intention to be able to just uplift the world, heal the world with your love. And when we say heal, we can't physically heal this planet, and Gaia is all sorted. She can definitely use some gratitude and some acknowledgement, but she can't be healed by us humans. So, instead of focusing on trying to heal her, acknowledge her and have gratitude towards her, and be able to send her best wishes and a whole lot of that sort of stuff. Or if you do feel like, you know, healing her is something that you're called for, that's fine, do that. But please know, we're always good to ask in sessions, right, about this. But please know she's got her own teams. She has her own sort of collectives. And, you know, while we're all one, she is well looked after. So Gaia is almost feeling like she's saying, she would love for you to start focusing truly on healing yourself first. Because when we try to love others, we can only love others as much as we've loved ourselves. Right? We feel like we could be, you know, over the top and being really generous with our time and intention and energy on our friends. But if it doesn't come from a truly well-balanced place, it's not wobbly everywhere. You know, when we truly empower ourselves, it's solid. And that wheel, that spinning thing is just completely consistent. It's not out of balance anyway and wobbly anyway. It is a very smooth cycle. I'm not too sure what they're trying to get at with this. I know that they talk about the marathon, right, and how and we're on a marathon in this lifetime, and we all know the destination, and we could run or walk or jog, and we're so close to the end. And when we try to then team up and do two man-legged races, you know the analogy that you have to be at the right pace, otherwise you'll fall over. And so there's something about alignment. And for so long, it seems like humanity has been truly out of alignment with each other. And so now you all come into alignment, and it's now starting to really be more of, they're trying to say it's just like, sorry, hopefully this is, you can decipher this in your own sweet time, but it's like you've graduated from being like a steam train to like an automotive train. I'm not too sure what it's weird. Anyway, saying from a steam train to like an electric train. And I'm like, well, what the F is the difference? One's energy. Both of them are energy. Feels like it's got something to do with carbon-based and crystalline-based stuff. Something. I'll explore it on my own sweet time. Sorry. Okay, and so there was another weird thing that came out, which they want me to talk about. And again, I think I just sort of tapped on it with whatever works for you. However, you know, not everyone has 15 minutes of time to be able to deeply relax, love themselves, put them in this beautiful, beautiful pyramid of white light, and then invite all to come in to be able to feel that beautiful, powerful white light. That source energy is incredibly fantastic, right? It will always make me cry. And also, just before I did that, I could feel the energy of Bob Marley, his divine being self. It's quite powerful still, and he makes me cry. And I just felt into him, because I like set the intentions. Okay, I'm going to do this. I knew they wanted me to do this, this white light healing. And I just was sitting there, and I was just about to start, and I could feel him coming in, and I just thought, oh, I'm doing this group healing. I'm not going to be channeling you, because I felt like when we're going to do a channeling, I felt like it needed to be someone else asking him questions potentially, which is silly, because you know they can talk quite clearly for themselves and speak their own experiences. So I kind of pushed him aside, because you know what? Because his energy was so intensive. Because when I felt into him, I just wanted him, or he just wanted me to say, it was like this song, and he was just like calling out for his brothers and sisters. And it was this beautiful message about, he just wanted to come in, and I just couldn't like translate it, because I was like, oh, this is going to be really, I can't sing, I can't do much. And it was just, he just came in so strongly, and he was like, so it was so good. But I blocked it because I just didn't think I could share it, because I would get so emotional. But then I know that when I'm in these sessions, it's like my emotions step aside when my ego steps aside, when my conscious mind steps aside. So maybe I'll get to it. So, it's definitely a journey. But I know he was just so strong, because he just wanted to call out to his brothers and sisters that his messages are still strong, and his messages still need to be listened and applied to, and that his music is so profound, and all of the answers he's saying to mastering this life is in his work still. And he's still encouraging everyone to know what those messages are, and to know which songs have got the answers to it. And so he's very firm and so strong with his love to say to you all that he wants you to hear his messages. He wants you to feel his love. And, he's very kind and very nice. And I highly recommend please taking that time to do that. So yeah, I'm still having this reaction to him anyway. Fantastic. Please try to find some of his music and to feel into his messages as well, because it's always good to hear it from other people as well, the same messages. And it's very reassuring, right? That all is well. There is nothing to worry about, and we need to empower ourselves to be able to empower others. And there is no true difference between any of us. And we're all on different journeys, but we're all choosing to learn the same experiences. And so some of the experiences you've already overcome and mastered, you can be able to identify easily with other people where they're at. And instead of judging them or ridiculing them, obviously, love them and support them, knowing, what's next for them is pretty profound. It's interesting to say that, it's not a linear journey either, right? Because some certain people have, we all have strengths and weaknesses, right? And so when you think that someone has a weakness, you don't see all the other range of strengths. And so this is why it's really interesting for the collectives when we're talking about the new earth now, and is it all selected from people's life contracts, who can go to the new earth, who wants to go to the new earth, all this stuff. And it seems like now they're really quite firm with the levels and the frequency vibrations that you can hold on to. They've always been, you must be able to resonate at that certain frequency. They've always said that, right? And so it is, again, turning on that radio and to be able to feel into that frequency vibrations. And when a lot of people haven't started to even love themselves, you haven't even got the radio out of the closet. You're not interested in doing much. You're not open to yourself, and you're not open to others. And so it seems like what they've been consistently saying in quite a lot of private sessions, because I have still quite a lot of private sessions that I do with my friends, and exploring, and I make sure that they don't listen to each other's sessions, because then that gives great clarity to me to be able to try and understand all the information what has been given, right? And I always talk about that 100 boxes as if that was a representation of 100 years of someone's living, right? And so and it's just like that journey. So all those 100 boxes are there, and they've got all the information of that journey and that lifetime. They're all separate, and they just get added upon. And sometimes things get taken away from those experiences because they were learned at a different time, learned in a different box. So, it gets a bit complicated, but I love it too, because it is quite simple. But it's, and there is flexibility in those boxes. But it's like we've already asked for all of these experiences pre-hand before we even come in onto this earth. We already designed all those boxes. And I know it's not as simple as year to year in separate categories and separate boxes at all, but it's trying to explain everything we're getting. So in sessions, they're saying that because there is still so much growing for 3D humans and the evolution, that yes, they could have spent a long time on these ships experiencing, evolving. Originally, it kind of was like they're in this sleep-like state, and they were given lots of dreams to be able to experience getting more higher perspectives and learn lessons that way. But it seems now that there is another 3D planet that is coming to be a possibility for many to move to be able to have those 3D experiences, and that could be an entirely full another lifetime. It's really interesting. It's going to be much softer and easier, and not so challenging, not so corrupt, and not so manipulative, and all that sort of stuff. And this is going to be a fantastic bridgeway for many people who do want to go to the new Earth, do want to go into a 5th dimensional planet and have that journey, because some of you have not had any 5th dimensional lifetimes. And that is a beautiful thing to do. While we're all part of Source, which is a tremendously big dimensional being, consciousness, to have all different experiences of all different dimensions is significant. And while some of us have had 5th dimensional lifetimes, we haven't had it on the Earth yet. And so it is important, it's significant. We like to experience different 3D planets, and we like to experience different 5D planets. And, and all of the mixes in betweens, and the 9th and the 7th dimension, and all that sort of stuff, right? So it's so incredibly interesting what is happening. And it does seem like you can't escape doing your inner work, right? Because you're going to just hold yourself back if you do. And it seems like a really important time. And it's super easy and fast now to really empower yourself, super easy, as soon as you choose. And I know lots of people feel pressurized to know everything about the universe, know the history of everything, and that's simply not needed to empower yourself to be a high frequency vibrational being. So what are your assumptions of how to be a high frequency a high frequency being who is so balanced and who trusts that everything that is happening is purposeful for lessons and growths and experiences? May not be your lessons. You may be just part of the experience for people to have those lessons with and for. So it is incredible, our roles that we play here. So there was another thing, and it was really strange. Just quickly, I feel like if you did listen to that healing energy, I feel like you could within seconds get back into that pyramid of white light. And I know that they were trying to say to us all, relax, notice the tensions that you're holding in your physical bodies, right? It doesn't serve you anymore to be all tightly wound up as, oh, I'm so relaxed. I'm in my inner peace, but we're still, clenching everything. So I feel like they're wanting to remind us the real profound significance of not holding any tension in our bodies, because when you're holding tension in the bodies, you're literally creating density. You're not letting things flow. You're blocking a whole lot of stuff. And it could be just as simple as, leaning on one side, not being fully balanced, like you want to be physically in alignment and balanced and neutral. And a lot of people don't understand the significance of just posture. So it's all, it can't always be 100% of the time that we get the stuff right. And again, you do you. But when you choose to accept that you need to love yourself profoundly, you need to accept everything that has ever happened in your lifetime as a lesson and purpose, and that is to always to empower you. And we know that it's not encouragement always that gets us to be empowered. It can be a lot of challenges along the way, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of lessons can be learned through massive trauma. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. But we wanted all of these experiences. We signed up for all of these experiences. And we chose who's in our lives. It's not an accident. People are in our lives. We have life contracts with them always. So whoever comes into our lives and whoever leaves our lives, it's all contracted. It's not an accident. While we think that we've got free will and we can create our own worlds and realities, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes to actually get us these experiences. It is really, really, really interesting when you go and explore it. So yes, interesting times. The collectives are really wanting us to be more in unity. And they would love it if we could imagine the world in a beautiful white light pyramid of love and high integrity while you're relaxed, knowing and letting all of the energy flow through you, accepting the love from source and accepting the love from all. And there is a difference between us being so thirsty for attention and love that we're constantly seeking it out. It's always around you and it's always within you. So you have to just trust that. Because if you're searching for love, if you're searching for recognition and attention, you're missing that it's right within you, and it always has been. And so when you start loving yourself truly and completely, you don't have to search, you don't have to seek, it's all within. And when you truly honor and empower yourself to notice that and to trust that and feel that, it's one of the most powerful things you could do for yourself. Another thing I want to say before I go, how is it that when my partner creates a coffee for me, it tastes so goddamn good? And then when I create a coffee for me using the same machine, using the same beans, using the same goddamn water, using everything the same, average. Now, what is it with that man? Does he do magic? No. So anyway, pretend rant there. Is it because when someone gives us something and we don't have to do it for ourselves, it tastes sweeter and nicer? Or is it something else? Are we feeling into that gratitude and that love? What is it? Maybe that's some of my own inner work. And I just sort of felt like when I was feeling into this, it's like, it's the same for people who will listen to that white light meditation many, many, many times, because they just want that love. They want that reassurance. They want that nurture from that message, from their energy. And so, maybe this is getting more. I need to do more inner work on myself for that coffee thing. Sorry, just having a me moment now. Very interesting. So the thing is that I probably don't do the milk frother thing, and he does, right? I just sort of think, oh, well, it's milk, it's going to taste all the same. And potentially it doesn't. Potentially when you froth the milk up, make a whole bunch of mess and noise, that's going to make my coffee the best. So maybe I think that we've got all the same equipment and all the same ingredients, so therefore mine should taste just as good as his. But maybe he takes the extra time and he knows what he's doing. Well, he's not a barista, but the amount of coffee he used to drink, he could be. So there's that. So yes, that's the key, isn't it? I rush through all of those stages of our coffee machine. If you've ever been on my Zoom meetings and I'm making a coffee machine noise, you know that it's not a plunger or a little percolator thing. It's almost industrial usage at this point. Anyway, I've answered my own question, which is all of the steps that he takes, he doesn't rush through it. And so I would love you all to take that message, that healing, to heart and to listen to it, really relax. I know 15 minutes is a big time, right? And I've probably been waffling on for longer than that today. I know you guys are listening to these messages for a really profound reason. I know that. And when you have found this work and when you have listened to the conversations with heaven on earth and you understand the significance and importance of what we're supposed to focus on, doesn't that message just feel like something we should be honoring and doing? And I believe so many of you can actually you can take that and expand upon that and do great things with just knowing the power you can wield and the intentions you can set for humanity. I know that. And I certainly wouldn't be expecting you guys just to religiously listen to that and not expand upon it. Ideally, it would be fantastic if you could just consciously always think about putting people in these beautiful pyramids of white light. The pyramid is sacred geometry and it is full protection. It is profound. Look what I'm doing to my hands. It's interesting right now. There is significance in everything, my friends. So much. And if I could just say you're a huge piece of this puzzle to help humanity. And another thing that came out of a session, and I'll quickly wrap this up, is that the client wanted to know, why are so many people afraid to shift? Why are so many people afraid to die? And the subconscious was very firm with this answer and said it's because most people haven't finished or done enough to feel like they have completed this lifetime. For whatever reason, we're still holding back or we're not achieved what we think we need to achieve. Now, what is that for you? Is it retirement, grandkids, holidays in Bahamas? What is it for you? What do you feel that you should be completing in this lifetime? And the subconscious was saying that many of you have looked at the whole choices that you have made in this lifetime now, and you're not 100% proud of all of it. And you don't like beat yourselves up for those things that, you know, when we were the asshole phase, you know, because everyone needed to have the asshole phase, right? Like it's growth, it's experiences, it's opportunities to stop being those assholes, right? So you're not picking at yourselves for the asshole phase, but you're sort of like, you know that there is something lacking, that when you look back at this entire lifetime and present it to other beings on New Earth, you will be able to show them, I helped humanity this time here, and be really proud of it. Because sometimes, I mean, right now, most of you don't realize how much power you do wield energy-wise and how much transmuting of energy you're doing constantly. That's a given. And that's beautiful, but that's kind of unconsciously, you're just this amazing side hustle as well. Consciously is what we're talking about here. When you consciously chose to step up and consciously devoted time and effort and energy into empowering the world, because you've already empowered yourself to be able to do such. Okay. I love you guys so much, so much. Please honor yourself with the beautiful music of our dear friend Bob Marley, and any other music that you feel speaks directly to you to give you love and encouragement and empowerment. Anything else we don't deserve. So just check what you're listening to, who you're listening to. And I hope that you're listening to your heart and your intuition and everything else that's good for you. Please drink lots of water. And if you didn't know, interns are free.